Welcome to Spirit Quest. Welcome. Lovely to see you. I am Paul Francis, your host. We had a little bit of a hiccup there, and even though I clicked start the show, it decided it didn't want to do it. So we had to start it all over again. But the good thing about it is, everything that I talked about, we can talk about again because you guys didn't get to see it. Yes, so the start of my show here tonight has been a hiccup. But anyway, we'll crawl all over that one in a moment or two. But I want to talk to you about, and this is a little bit of a serious matter. I have a great many friends. I have a great many colleagues. I have a great many of fans and people like that in the United States, and they're all telling me about this storm that's brewing over there. Please, 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 put yourself first in this instance. Make sure you're safe. Make sure your family is safe. Make sure that you're out there and that everything around you has been set up to keep you safe. That's important, alrighty? It's very important to me because I want to know you guys are safe. Even my darling friend Michelle, she messaged me to say that she's being held up on the way to her home, so she can't get on the studio just yet because of the storm that's building. So please, 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 please look after yourself. I've got Facebook user saying hi already coming in. 2 users. Some of you guys, it'll come up to me in the chat room saying Facebook user. It won't be telling me who you are. So do me a big favor, stick on hi, I am whoever you are and where you're from, and then I can say hi to you. So tonight's show is all about ghosts and spirits. Now you may think to yourself, why would you want to do a show about ghosts and spirits so close to Christmas? Well, hey, think about it, all right? Think about it. Are you in the Christmas spirit? I am. I'm in the Christmas spirit. Check it out. Oh, yes, indeed. I'm in the Christmas spirit. I love the Christmas spirit. I have played Spirit. I've played Santa so many times. Nolene Grant Walker, welcome. Lovely to see you. Julie Sharp, lovely to see you. Hi from Newark, Oklahoma. Hi, and Mary Erickson from Virginia. Good evening. Welcome. Lovely to see you guys. All rushing in. Lovely to see you. Make sure, Jules, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. It's great to see you guys. Please, please, please go out there and share the show. Share it. Get it into your Facebook pages. Get it onto your TikTok. Get it onto your wherever. Get it into your Facebook groups. Tell them all, hey, there's an Irish guy on the radio. Come and talk to him. You'll have a laugh with him. One thing that I've been well known for is making sure that I bring comic element to the work that I do. Hence my nickname, the Comedian. So tonight is being brought to you by the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 and 107.7 FM, coming to you from beautiful New Orleans. I am to Paul Love Christmas, Julie Sharp. Julie Sharp, welcome. As I say to you, quite a few of you guys are coming up in the chat room, I beg your pardon, as Facebook user. That's where I got book in my head. So if you could just put in there, hi, I am such and such from such and such, fantastic, then I can welcome you to the show. But make sure that you're out there sharing the show. And everybody listening to us on radio tonight, it is an absolute pleasure. Now, going out there at prime time, 6 p.m., make sure you watch the road. Make sure you're safe getting yourself home from work. And you get into your house all ready to listen to Paul Francis for the next 110 minutes, I think, something like that. Noreen is from County Wicklow in Ireland, so she'll have an accent something similar to mine, but probably a lot nicer than mine, because I haven't been there for such a while. My accent has got, well, my pals all say to me, oh my God, you're so English. A lot of people from the United States go, oh, you got a beautiful Irish accent. So I'm kind of thinking, well, I'm going to go with the American people because they like my accent. Excuse me one sec. Some of you may have heard, some of you may not have heard, but I have a really horrible cold. That's why my voice sounds weird. Yes, indeed. But I am of old school. He says, sniffling. I am of old school. The show must go on. The show must go on. I can hear Freddie Mercury singing it right now. Sort of Saturday, I started feeling the little sort of twinges of having a bit of a cold, and then it kind of grew and grew, and then Monday night I was just wiped out. But with the magic of modern medicine, I've managed to take copious amounts of proper over-the-counter pills to fight the and combat the symptoms of the cold. I will be here to fight with you all the way through until the end of the show. I hope, fingers crossed. Now, just a quick sort of heads up about next show. The next show this is the last show before Christmas. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. This is the last show before Christmas. But the next show, which is next Thursday, is New Year's Eve show. Think about it. New Year's Eve. So the 29th, of course. And what we're going to do with that show is I'm going to teach you. I'm actually going to work with you, talk with you, interact with you, and teach you how to get yourself prepped up and ready to go into the new year, 2023. A lot of us tend to carry over a lot of the negativities we've actually experienced through the current year. So what went wrong? Who did we lose? What did we not achieve? Blah blah blah. We tend to focus on that, which is wrong. So what we'll do in next week's show is I'll teach you how to eliminate all that, and I'll teach you how to become a magnet for positive energy for 2023. So we'll go in with a clean slate, absolute focus on goals, and I will teach you how to achieve those goals. Alrighty? Anyway, we're not there. That's next week. This week, it's pre-Christmas. So what do? We say Merry Christmas, Happy Yule, Happy Solstice, and very many other things. My dear friend Roger was on last week. I managed to get onto his show on the Saturday. And Roger was saying, he speaks obviously in Spanish, and he was saying it, Feliz Navidad. And I thought, wow, it's like a song, isn't it? Feliz Navidad. Beautiful. Loved it. Let's see who's coming in to join us. Oh yeah, Jules saying yeah, it's awful. The cold it's not a very pleasant thing to be experiencing. But so who have we got in the show? We got Lynn joined us as well, but Lynn will actually be coming on to the show in a wee while because there's something that I experienced with Lynn that I want to experience with you guys. Now it's a positive and negative. It's a bittersweet, but it is a story which has a connotation with it that can only be really shared at this time of the year. Okay, and initially with that as well, I'm going to be having another special guest called Crystal Rose, and she will be coming in, and she will be talking to us about her element and her sort of focus on her experiences with spirit and with ghosts and spirits, but her concept of what we do and how her focus is in relation to the whole world of spirit and what she does. You'll be able to meet her. She'll be coming on a bit later on too as well. Now let's look at the concept of spirit and ghost. First of all, they are two separate things, totally separate things. I mean, literally yin and yang to each other. But let's have a look. I was quite interested I was reading Wikipedia earlier, and I made a few notes. Wikipedia states spirit, the non-corporeal essence of a being or entity. Your mind is going, what? The non-corporeal essence of a being or entity. Wait, there's more. I've got to share more with you. Pneuma, spelled Pneuma. It's a Greek word, and it means breath or wind, but it also means spirit or soul. I thought that was beautiful. Pneuma, meaning breath or wind, also spirit or soul. Now, also on top of that, we've got Geist. Now, this is one that came up that I really wanted to talk about. Geist. Where have you heard that before? So where have you heard the word Geist before? Okay. Let me just give you a hint. If I were to put the word polter in front of it, you get poltergeist. It's actually two separate words that have been slammed together. Now, the word Geist, now you can look this up, Wikipedia. Geist, G-E-I-S-T. Geist is a German word, but here is the literal meaning of the word Geist. It means, yes, ghost or spirit, but it also means mind or intellect. Think about this. Ghost, spirit, mind, or intellect. So, when we put the word polter means unsettled. It does not mean evil. All right, you've just been fed that through movies. It means unsettled spirit, unsettled ghost. But I'm going to talk about those in a wee while anyway. But unsettled mind or unsettled intellect. Alrighty, I want you to really focus on that last one, unsettled intellect. Okay, Poltergeist. Once again, we'll get through to those as well. One of the things I'm going to talk a little bit about tonight, we're going to quickly jump into the world of angels, but we will come back to that and in and out of that as the way things go. I've got good evening to you, brother. Evening, everyone. Again, it's coming up as Facebook user. I do apologize. I can't see who you guys are, so please say, if you look into the Facebook room, into the chat room, and if it says Facebook user, please put your name in there so I know who you are. Hi, Paul. My dad just passed away. I'm heartbroken. I am really, really sorry to hear that, my darling. I'd love to say who you are, but I haven't got your name. It's not coming up. It just says Facebook user. I'm really, really sorry to hear that you've lost your father, but please take all my energy and all my condolences. And it's hard enough to lose a parent. It's even harder to lose them around this time of the year. There are no words to make the pain go away, so don't let anybody try to do that. But what I will share with you is this: that your father, your dad, is no longer in pain. He's no longer in any kind of negativity. Okay, and he will be very, very, very happy. I promise you, putting my hand over my heart, I promise you, your dad will be totally happy. Alrighty? Because he will have crossed over the veil. He will be met by all of the people he lost, all of the people that he had to mourn. Okay? All of the people that went before him, he will now be joining him, and he will be amazed, he'll be happy, but he'll also be orientated. And by that I mean he'll be orientated into showing you who he is, where he is, and how he's able to reconnect with you. So please, my darling, please keep your mind, your heart open to how your dad may be trying to connect with you. Alrighty? Yes, you're listening to Paul Francis. Yes, you're listening to Spirit Quest, The Journey of Life. Yes, you're listening to me on United Public Radio Network, 105.3 and 107.7 FM, coming to you live from New Orleans. And yes, his voice sounds terrible because he's got a cold. It's just as well I'm way, way, way over here in the UK in a little studio, all by myself. Not even my family come in with me because they go, Dad, they're holding like crosses up to me, going, get back. Crystal Rose has just joined us in the chat room. Good evening. Lovely to see you. And she'll be joining us live on the show very, very shortly. Now, Roger. It's Roger. Roger the Magnificent. Roger, Feliz Navidad. I remember that from last week. Feliz Navidad. And it's lovely to see you. Now, what I'd like you guys to share with me tonight is what kind of experience have you had with spirit around this time of the year, or any time of the year for that matter? What kind of interaction have you had that may be looked upon as being pleasant, happy, loving, that kind of thing? Alrighty? So share that with us tonight. What have you interacted with? Let us know. Now, places where you can find me. If you're looking at our show live, you can see it going across the bottom of the screen. www.paulfrancis111.com. You can find me on TikTok at paulfrancis007. Yeah, 007. And Twitter, Irish_psychic. Those are the places you can find me, of course, on Facebook and loads and loads and loads and loads of other places. But let's get back to the show tonight. Spirits or ghosts? What are the difference? Huge difference. Crystal says, your voice sounds fine. Thank you so very much. It's because I've got an immense amount of technology trying to pull my voice in one way and twist it in another and make me sound like I know what I'm talking about. But I don't. But we get on through that. So here we go, sniffling away. Please, please, please share the show. Share it out with your friends and family. But most importantly, get it into your spiritual groups, the groups that you're on Facebook. Get them in there. Tell them to come and join us tonight. So, moving forward with this show, as I say, I'll be coming on in a little while. We'll bring Spirit, I beg your pardon. We'll be bringing Crystal, and she'll be coming and having a chat. And then right after that, a little while after that, we'll be bringing one of my dear friends, Lynn. Now, you'll see Lynn. She'll pop up many, many times in a lot of my Facebook programs. Lynn's kind of my right arm. She does a lot of work in sort of making sure that the shows get out to the right places, making sure I'm here on time, and making sure that everybody knows what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, or if I've been ill, she tells everybody he's not coming on tonight. You know that. But away through the middle of this year, we had an experience together, Lynn and I. Well, not really Lynn and I. It was an interactive experience that was both mind-boggling and amazing, all wrapped into one, but ultimately sad. And we shall talk about that in a little while. The beautiful Faye is joining us tonight, darling. I do hope you're feeling better. I know you've been coming down with that other horrible thing that's been sweeping the world, the COVID, and I do hope that you're well, and I do hope you're feeling a lot better. But it's great to see you in the chat room. Lovely to see you, in fact. Great to see you. You're an absolute darling. So here we go. Coming up with tonight's show, we are going to be talking about spirits and ghosts, and more importantly, please, 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 tell me about your experience with spirits and ghosts, especially around this time of the year. It is well established that spirits and ghosts. I'm going to focus primarily on spirits. It's well established that spirits are with us on a regular basis. They are interacting with us on a daily basis. A lot of questions that I get during my live shows are, "Oh, do they watch over us all the time?" And I'd love to say yes, but that's not the truth. No, because they have things they got to do as well. It's not like as soon as you pass over to the other side of life, you become a watcher. You know, that's not how it works. There's a reason why they call it the next life. The next life. Okay, so you have to get on with the life that you and I become a part of. And it's more about the betterment of the soul, or the growth of the soul. It's not about like where we work here for monetary value, and over there it's the growth of the value of the soul. But we also have the ability to help our friends and family here. Don't confuse that with trying to live our lives for us. They both don't do that, and second part of that is they won't do that. That's not what they do. They don't do it, and they won't do it. They will throw little sort of things in our way to try and guide us to make the right decisions, but ultimately we have freedom of choice, in which case you you can decide to follow that little lead they're giving you, or go a completely different place. Donna Mayers has joined us. Donna, welcome to the show. Lovely to see you. Roger says he's watching us through YouTube tonight. Great, buddy. Lovely to see you're on there. Make sure that you interact, though. Talk to me. Tell me your stories about your interaction with spirit around this time of the year, and what it was and how it affected you. All right. With mine, it was a happening photograph. I had just lost my mom. My mom had literally just passed away a couple of months pre. And I obviously, it was the first Christmas without my mother, so I wasn't in a great place. Anyway, so we were setting up the tree as we normally do, and all the lights were going on, and I was getting ready to sit down and do some little baubles around the bottom of the tree. And one of my family members took a photograph of me. So anyway, we carried on. We're doing all the bits and pieces. Christmas time was a huge time for my mom. She loved it. In fact, she would decorate the house so well and the trees so well that people came from far and wide just to see it. All my pals would come in at this time of the year. They'd ignore me and just go and see my mom and see her tree. So basically what would happen was we would really have a big thing at Christmas in our house. So setting up the orbs and the baubles and so on and so forth, I was, focused and thinking about her. All I heard, 20 minutes afterwards, I heard, "Oh my gosh, look at this!" And the photograph was obviously on digital. It was on a cell phone, and you could plainly see an arm going round my waist, holding me. And I know that was my mom, because the following morning there was a robin sitting right outside our house, which is the connection I have between myself and my mom. My goodness, what an experience. I've never forgotten, and I never will forget it. Excuse me. Julie Sharp, do great big colourful orbs count? Yes, of course they do, Jules. Of course. It's not really, Julie, about what orbs mean to me. It's what they mean to you. That's what's more important, okay? You'll get all the skeptics and the cynics telling you it's dust. You know what? The difference between orbs and dust is, well, it's really, really easy to see. Dust will continue in one direction. Orbs tend to move around, especially when there's nothing to be able to move them about, such as movement of air, open doors, open windows, that kind of thing. That's how you can tell one of the main differences. The other difference is the color. I've seen orbs bright pink, bright red, green, purple, blue, yellow, gold. In fact, one of the things I'm going to talk about with my chat with Lynn in a little while is a huge golden orb. Now, I know the difference because I can see it with my eye, not just my camera. Do great, Julie. I'm just going to bring Julie's message up. There we go. Do great big colourful orbs count? I've seen many of them around Christmas time and around my firstborn. Absolutely. I'm with you 100% on that. At the back of Julie Sharp, also in the workplace, I've seen a lady dancing. There you go, spirit. And a colleague I'll read it again. And ask a colleague who the lady was dancing. They described her and then totally freaked out. The lady had only passed away many years before. It was around Christmas time. So now you're kind of leaning into two areas there, Jules. You have the area of spirit and the other area of ghost. Okay, so a ghost. If this particular entity is seen at a specific time of the year, then that's very likely going to be a ghost because it's a recapture or a replay of time. Okay, that's the difference between a ghost and a spirit. You will see a ghost, okay, and it'll be doing this thing like dancing in a specific area, and it won't interact with you because it's a replay of time. But a spirit is different. Not only will you interact with it, it will re-interact with you as well. That's the difference between the two. One is time, and one is actually an interactive energy. That's the difference. Excuse me for 1 second. He is dying on his rear here with the cold. But orbs are very much a catalyst to let you know that there's a buildup of energy around a person or place or thing. And the way that tends to manifest is in orb form first. Okay, so orbs are definitely a huge part of the spirit entity world. Deborah Ann Usher, good morning, Deborah Ann. Lovely to see you, and thanks for being a part of the show. All different colors, says Jules. Thank you for sharing that with me, by the way. I appreciate that. And we'll be going on to a 30-second break very, very shortly. Sorry about that. I was going to say we're going to have a quick break, but the quick break is just to tell you about the United Public Radio Network and to tell you all about the lovely people, Joe, and of course Michelle and Amelia. And they are, well, Michelle and Amelia are very much the reason I'm here. And their show coming up later on this evening. Outer Limits, make sure you're around for that one as well. But the United Public Radio Network is coming to you on 105.3 and 107.7 FM. Live from beautiful New Orleans. So make sure you are part of the show. But get yourself in here and be a part of our show by talking to me in our chat room. Okay? Thank you very much for all of the emails. You can email me on paul@paulfrancis111.com. If you've forgotten that address, just go onto my website, www.paulfrancis111.com, and just click connect, and you'll be able to send me a message through there. I'm going to say in advance a very happy Christmas to you all. Wishing you all the peace and joy that you can imagine over the weekend to come. Donna says, I've noticed coins. I'm just going to bring that one up. So there we are. Donna says, hey, Paul, I've noticed coins and feathers more as a sign of spirit. I know it's a sign, but is it one of my family? Well, yeah, yes. But here's the way you got to think about it: is yes, but it's on a resounding no at the same time. But the reason why I'm saying a resounding no is spirits from any kind of spirit person, anybody connected to you, both friends and family, can use any of these things to grab your attention. However, here's one of the things that I always tell people, especially if they find coins. I always say check the coin, check the date on the coin. Okay, so flip the coin over, look at the back of it where this puts the date on, and see if that date is significant to you or significant to the person who's trying to interact with you. There you go. Feathers, I'm a big believer in feathers, especially if they're found in a place that they wouldn't normally be. Alrighty? I'm a very feet on the ground kind of a guy, ladies and gentlemen. I am skeptical. Yes, I am a professional psychic medium and author who's skeptic. Not everything that goes bump in the night is spirit related. Alright? And if you say to me, "Oh, Paul, I find feathers today," and I say, "Oh yeah, where was that?" and you say, "By a duck pond," I'm going to go, "Well, hello. It's very likely you're going to find feathers around a duck pond." You see my point? So, but if you find feathers in a place like just in the middle of a corridor, like I saw Faye. Faye put a picture up. She found this unique feather, and it shouldn't be there. Then that's very likely someone trying to get your attention. It is also well known that a feather is the calling card of an angel. Okay, that, and I believe that. I genuinely do believe it because I have interacted with angels and I know they're real. You cannot convince me otherwise. You can sort of say, "Oh, your head's in the clouds," and blah 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 blah. I really don't care. I don't care if you come down here in front of me and say there can't be angels because of this, because I'll say I don't care. Go away, you idiot. I have interacted with them. I have called upon them. I have asked them to interact with me, and they've responded. I have even got parking angels. Yes, I have parking angels. And I've even, my two children in the car one night, they said to me, "Hey, Dad, can you prove you've got parking angels?" And I went, "Well, okay. I'll tell you what. Here we go." So I got everybody into the car. We were going to the movies that night, going to see a movie. And I said to them, "Right, okay, now we're at home." And they were yes. And I went, "Okay, my parking angels, please have a spot for me at the cinema." And the kids were looking at each other and going, "Dad's lost his mind." So off we drove. Just to give you an idea, it wasn't just down into our town; it was into a different city. Alrighty, a different city, which was 45 minutes away. So we drove all the way to Truro. I drove all the way down through the Truro city. Okay, so it gives you an idea. Lots and lots and lots of people. I pulled up to the cinema, and a space opened up literally right outside the cinema. And I looked at the girls, and they were going, "Oh my God. Oh my God." I went, "There you go." Every time I will ask my angels, I say, "My parking angels, please get me a decent spot." And then when I pull in, I thank them. Make sure you thank them. See, the difference between angels and our friends and family and spirit is angels want to help us, but they can't interfere. They can only interact and interfere once you ask. So, please, my angels of abundance, help us out. I really need a lift to be able to get to do this. And then believe in that. Okay? There's no point in just going, "Oh, angel of abundance, please, da 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 blah 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 blah," because the angels will go, "You don't really want that." And won't react. And you can say to the universe, "I really, really deserve a great life." But in the back of your head, you're going, "But I know I'm not going to get it." The universe goes, "Well, okay." It doesn't care one way or the other. The universe doesn't have any emotional connection to us. We have to react to it. Okay, so when you say, "I really am deserving of a great life, I am deserving of a great family, and I'm a good person, I deserve this," and the universe goes, "Okay." But you must not, in the back of your head, have the "but I know I'm not going to get it," because that is the bit that the universe listens to as well. Alrighty? you probably get what you want to get, but it'll just take a lot longer. Trust me, I have proven that concept over and over and over and over. Alrighty. So let's move on with the show. It's lovely to see you guys. Thanks for being a part of the show tonight. Faye says, we find a white feather in the kitchen this morning. We're so excited. And there was no explanation for it. Literally no explanation. So that is what I'm talking about. You walk into your kitchen, and I listen, see, there's a pigeon flying around, or a duck, or a goose, or something. There shouldn't be a feather there. All right. So that's what I'm talking about. That is the place where it shouldn't be. Although, that being said, the skeptical could say, oh, yeah, it's in the kitchen. You're probably plucking a chicken. Which you weren't, of course. So, I know you took it out, you put it in a jar or something, you kept it, but that's a beautiful thing to do. And thank you for sharing that with us. Here we are at 1:45 midnight here in the UK. I'm not too sure what time of the day it is for you guys, but do share it with me here on the show. And I'll be bringing on our first guest tonight very, very shortly. So, in a moment or two, I'm going to be bringing on Crystal Rose, and we're going to you're going to meet her. She's a lovely, lovely lady. I've worked with her many, many times in the past, and she has an amazing, excuse me, he says, there's that cold coming through. You see, it's fighting to come through, and I'm going, no, you're not having it, but my angels of the cold, please take it away from me. So the so what I want you to do is I want you to welcome Crystal. She'll be coming on now. She has when you kind of look into what Crystal does, Crystal Rose, she's got a very, very Wiccan kind of concept, and it's something that I see because I'm married to a Wiccan for a start, and secondly of all, my mom is very, although she was Christian, her whole persona was Wiccan. You could tell a mile away. She was so connected to the earth, so connected to the energies of the trees and the flowers, and she could name all of the flowers in Latin. Alrighty. So I will be inviting Crystal. Give me 1 second while I get that all together. And I do hope you're enjoying the show. Are you enjoying the show? Please do let me know. So I'm going to put that across to Crystal as we speak. There we go. So shortly she will come and link in, and we will bring her on board. It was great having Roger on last week, by the way, Roger. It was so much fun trying to get you to talk to us. And we were having a giggle afterwards. I said it was actually easier to talk directly to Spirit than it was to talk directly to Roger. That's how easy it was. And it was just technology. Technology has a habit, especially if we're having situations in the United States where serious storms are coming in. I don't know what happened in the middle of our show. It went flick, and then came back on again. I'm like, okay, have I touched anything? No, hands are free. So, Crystal Rose, my darling, if you're out there, make sure you click that little link I've just sent you, and you should be coming live to us anytime now. Great to see you. Yeah, it was like when I'm talking to Spirit, I get an immediate reaction. When I'm talking to Roger, 5 minutes later, I get a reaction. And Faye says, well, you want to be living with him. It takes even longer again. So, a wonderful, wonderful man. Wonderful couple, in fact. Here she comes. Here's my Crystal Rose. Hello, my darling. How are you?
Hello.
Now, you see the difference there, Roger? I can hear her immediately. He's probably kicking himself. It was something simple. I'm just going to bring the background music down. How are you?
Oh, just a minute, Paul. I've got you going live. I've got
All
you
right.
on live. Just a minute. I've got to switch you off this one.
You're going to take me off one, put me on another.
That's better. I could hear you twice, but one was like lagging. One was what you said a couple of minutes ago.
You talk about lagging. You have no idea. Roger's, I would literally say, put Roger last week, and he's a dear, dear friend of mine. I love him to bits. I would actually put a question. I'd say, hey, Roger, tell me about this. And then I would carry on with the show. And literally 3 minutes, I would hear it coming through his side. Hey, Roger, tell me about this. The lag was literally about 2 to 3 minutes long. So it's not even seconds, which was happening with us. But poor old Roger was going, I just don't know what to do, left, right, or indifferent. So we will get Roger on again.
Great to see you. I've just put this little pentagram
I
I've
see
got
that.
a
Yeah,
collected craft. I've just put that on display now. That wasn't there
yeah.
before. Just
Well,
because
we got
I'm
three of those
talking
hanging
about
in
what you're
our living
talking
room.
about. I've got Jesus on my arm.
Yeah.
I've got a pentagram ring on. I'm so confused.
Well, do you know what? It doesn't really matter. Like people say, it's not about the status. It's about what you do with the energy. Don't you agree?
Went to the right place.
You're frozen on me, by the way. Oh, there you're back. There you go.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's lovely to see. So tell us a little about what this means to you this time of the year, because I watch what you do on Facebook, and it's very very Wiccan. So tell us all about what you do this time
So,
of the
well,
year.
I've been watching um, you from the beginning of this, and I just want to say about the robin.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said this time of year. When my granddad passed away, this was before I was born. One of the first things I knew about my gran was not to send her a robin Christmas card. And the
Right.
reason was because a robin had flown in at my granddad's wake to sit in the middle of everybody.
Wow.
And obviously, with her grieving, she wasn't comforted by that. You
Oh.
know, from our
Oh yes.
perspective,
Yes.
that would have been a wonderful thing. But from
Yes.
my gran, even though she was spiritualist, she
Yeah.
she didn't take to that. But
Oh.
yeah, always a sign. I got a white feather today as well, but I
You
do
did.
quite often. But I was out on my dog walk, but it was a fresh white feather,
Right.
and it's not that time of year.
What's it like? And whereabouts are you in the UK? Everybody, I know where you are, but for the sake
Yeah,
of all of the people listening to us in New Orleans,
I'm on the south coast. I'm in Gosport on the south coast,
in the south coast. So
opposite
we've
Portsmouth,
got a bit
an
of
hour south of London.
so yeah. So the south to me it'll be the southeast coast because I'm in the very deep southwest. But we've got all this. Our weather's weird, isn't it? But the lovely people of the United States are about to be hit with a huge storm. But our weather last week was freezing cold. This week it's tropical. So 11 degrees here tonight.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
We were
well,
travelling up to Newmarket from where I'm from
yeah.
last weekend to see my mum, and it was -7. We watched it going down, down, down.
Wow.
-2, -4, and G said to me, "Oh, it'll be -6 in a minute." And then we went, "Oh, we've hit -6." I went, "Oh no, -7." And then the next day
Yeah.
it was like minus something or other, but on the way back it was +7, and that was like 3 days later,
It's
2 or
nuts,
3
isn't
days
it?
later, +7, and I was like, "What's going on?"
Well, personally speaking, I wanted it to stay cold. I'm from Ireland. It's cold over there all the time. So I love the crispness and the frostiness. And it should be this time of the year, personally speaking. But now we're back into the tropics. I'm in a t-shirt again, look. So back in the
I have
tropical.
so many layers on, it's ridiculous.
So, Crystal, tell everybody about your perception of energy at this time of the year, and especially the
Oh,
universal energy.
I've made ridiculous amount of notes on experience I've had. But this time,
Share.
well, it's not particularly this time of year, but I did remember one from this time of year when I
Yeah.
was out for a drink with the friends, going back into Alverstoke, and this would have been on the ghost level. Okay,
Right.
this one. I looked up passing a house. I'm sure the others were oblivious to it, but playing up in a window, it looked like a lady in black and white. She was on the phone. It was like a black and white scene, but she was
Yeah.
on the phone like an old phone with
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
and she looked I could see how the house used to be.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a step back in time. This lady
Wow.
lived there.
Now, people would say to you, you may have been looking through a portal,
Oh, okay.
a time portal. And I actually sat down one night with a quantum physician, okay, guy who's an expert in quantum physics, and he said it's actually been proven that you can flick time, okay,
Well, that
and
was
it was one
weird.
of
It was
yeah.
so weird.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, when you've seen photographs of people, and when you see a picture of a ghost, and you've seen the full entity of the ghost, and you see what they're wearing, period costume, etc., and you look around it, you're actually capturing what the
This would have been
time.
1950s, you know, at a guess.
Yeah,
It was that sort of time. but she had the old desk there.
Yeah.
The phone was by the window, and she was sort of looking out, and she was oblivious to me going past.
Yeah.
So, it's like on different levels. I don't know
That
how I
is
saw that. I
definitely
can't explain
was
that
definitely
one.
ghost for a start. I'd absolutely 100% grant you that as a ghost because it's a replay of time.
Mm.
But there was a wee sort of level of me said she could have been looking in a time portal, literally looking back in time. But what's the difference between the two? Not really. I mean, I had a chap who sat down with me he's into quantum physics, he's a professor of it, but he was saying to me
Fascinating.
about
I know what I
time.
saw. I know what I saw. But
I
I
trust
can't
you
explain it.
implicitly.
I just can't explain it.
I think the whole idea, especially if she's not reacting to you, that's definitely ghostal. Gotta be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the spirit
And
side.
an old boyfriend used to have a sorry, I'm messing about with my fireplace. He used to have an old lady they saw in period costume going
Yeah.
across the hallway. I haven't written this one down, but you just reminded me.
All right.
I never saw that one, but the family had all seen it.
Yeah.
And that was like one of these repetitive things.
I said it was only was it
Don't know
last
if there's
tonight?
energy.
Well, tonight earlier tonight. I came down the stairs and I saw a shadow come past the door, and I stopped because I thought Johanna was going to walk out. You know when somebody gets up and the light's behind them, they'll a shadow will go ahead of them, and I literally stopped because I thought she was going to walk out through the door, so I didn't want to bump into her. So I stopped and I kind of leaned around the door, and she was sitting on the couch.
It wasn't
I
her.
said, "Oh, were you just standing up a minute ago?" And she goes, "No." I said, "You didn't get up and walk around the living room to pick something up, remote control for the TV or something?" She went, "No." I said, "No, you haven't moved." She went, and she started getting agitated. No. And I
Yeah.
said, "Well, I just saw a shadow move across the doorway, and I thought you were coming out." She goes, "Oh no." She didn't agree with me. I didn't see it. I said, "Well, that's why I stopped because I thought you were about to walk out the door." So that was literally just earlier on this evening.
Quite often you just see a shadow that's. I've seen that recently. I haven't
Yeah,
seen that for ages, where you just sort of, and I've kind of known there's someone standing there, but
yeah,
then you don't see it.
and that's
Now
where
you
you
see
pick
it.
that energy
Now
up,
you
don't
know.
you?
Sort of like as soon as you see them, they're gone,
Yeah, and you
which is
catch them
weird.
more peripherally.
Yeah, that's
See,
it.
normally I'll catch them with a peripheral. What I've caught here in our house a couple of times is cats, spirit cats, because we lost a couple of cats, and
Oh,
they've come with us. It was the other house. They've come with us, and I've seen one sitting just on our stairs. They go up, then they turn and go up again, and on the mini landing, I saw a cat sitting looking at me, literally just
on
sitting
this,
looking at me.
yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. But I haven't seen shadow long here for ages. But when I first started having Reiki, and
Yeah,
when I was younger and thinking about having another baby,
right.
there was a child upstairs all the time, but you could hear the creaking, and
Yeah,
this little girl would overlay me, and I'd hear her giggling and everything because she wanted to come through. So I think
oh,
she'll come back as a grandchild. But a friend of mine saw her at the top of the stairs and described her,
yeah.
and I hadn't even told her.
Oh, there you
The little
go.
psycho girl. But yeah, shadows.
Oh,
And the other
shadows.
thing,
Yeah,
let me. This is a story.
far away.
When I was younger, well, teenager, I worked at the old plough in Ashley, and you go through a village called Cheveley, about 6 miles out of town, and it's all country roads.
Yeah,
So I'd go on my old scooter, but I had a Mini at the time. I
yeah.
think I was in my dad's Mini. No, it wasn't my dad's Mini because that was too new. It was my old orange one. Anyway, I digress. It's an N-Reg. It was the oldest. I got it for about £200.
Those were the
So
best cars. You get the
yeah,
200 quid. They're the best cars.
yeah. So coming home, it's about 1 a.m. because sometimes waitressing, all the racing lot would stay later and that sort of thing. And
Yeah,
I'd been along this road so many times, and when you get familiar with the place, it doesn't spook you
that's right. Yeah,
like any other place would. But I got to Cheveley, and this place is lit with the pub on the side. sort of halfway home, and I felt really creeped out for no apparent reason. And I thought, something's going on here. And
Yeah.
I turned round, looked in the back of the car, and it looked like the shape of a man, quite a large man, because it took up the whole, sat in the middle of the back seats.
Yeah. Yeah. You froze on us there. Are you still with us, my darling? It's like I'm talking to I'm doing a spirit connection.
Still seem.
You disappeared on us there, sweetie.
Yeah, sorry about that. And with that, I slammed on my brakes.
Yeah,
because
as you would.
I was absolutely petrified.
Yeah.
And the brakes were gone. There was no brake.
Oh, wow.
I was only doing 30 or 40, but the brake had actually gone because I'd been speeding up, and I thought, there's somebody there, so you'd slam the brake on, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
The brakes had gone. So that was spirit telling me the brakes had gone. So all the way back, I drove a little bit safer, changed down gears, used my handbrake, because if I hadn't have had someone sat there, I'd have gone, the next stop would have been the Cabaret Club. It's not the Cabaret Club anymore, but
you would have stopped in the Cabaret Club.
Yeah, I'd have been in. Hello.
Doing the cabaret in your car.
Here I am.
Yeah, the whole hands thing going, hi, tonight, live.
Yeah,
do you know what? That is a beautiful story. And that's an amazing story to share with everybody, because people will have interacted and that will have happened to them. And guess what? Because they're getting fed all this rubbish or trash about all these energies turning up are negative and evil and total.
Well,
you had an energy turning up.
Curious. I got in, and my dad must have been in his 70s then.
Yeah.
But he'd always come across to me like a complete Bible basher, you know.
Right.
So I said, Dad, you know, really weird thing, because he'd always stay awake till I came in, as dads do.
As a good dad always does.
And I go, night, Dad. He'd go, night. And I just stuck my head around his door and I said, do you know what? I said, something really weird just happened to me. My brakes went and there was a fella sat in the back of my car, but it wasn't. And then I changed down gears all the way home. And he just went, oh, probably your granddad.
Oh.
Then went to sleep. Most likely your granddad. Don't worry, they'll do that.
Yeah, they will.
It was just a strange, you know, because we hadn't had any conversations around that topic before, because I thought it'd be a bit voodoo. Or just hadn't.
Oh, yeah. They usually tend to. Well, my dad, right up until the last week that I had with him, wouldn't even. That it was like, you know, you don't go there.
You don't talk. Yeah, you don't talk about things you don't know about. You don't, because during the uprising after the war, I think a lot of people played with Ouija boards. You know.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, it goes pre that.
To everybody, would you?
Well, it goes pre the war. It goes into Victorian. The Ouija board in the Victorian time was a game. It was literally a game, and everybody. I mean, in fact, during the Victorian time, if you didn't have a Ouija board in your house, people would think you're a bit weird. Why don't you have one?
Yeah.
But a lot of people played with them. But I'm one of the people. I hold my hand up and say, you know, I always had had the wrong connotation connected to it. You know, I had the old it's evil thing. And until I was taught properly.
Yeah, I walked in on one once and the energy was very low. But I think I think depending on your intention and everything, you can have. It's like who you let in, isn't it?
Exactly, it's who you connect to. But it's what you do previous and what you do post the connection. Previous connection by, you know, filling the room for white light and divine protection, bringing in angelic protection, and
100%. I'm with you on that. Totally with you on that.
And then a lot of people don't know how to close the board down. So,
yes.
So what we will do?
Yes. Anyway, that's another story.
No, what it is? That's not another story. That's another show. We'll do that together. We'll do another show. I want to say hi to everybody who is joining us tonight from all over the world, but especially from New Orleans, who you're listening to us on 105.3 and 107.7 on the United Public Radio Network, directly from beautiful New Orleans. Diki, I don't know how to pronounce your surname, but welcome to the show. And everybody else has just come in. A lot of you that have joined us in the comments room, in the chat room, it's coming up as Facebook user, so we can't actually see your name, which is sad to say.
Oh yeah,
I just
it's
wanted to say
Facebook
something to you,
user, yeah.
Crystal. I just saw an orb literally go right up your left side.
Did
L- I
you?
I
Oh, I
promise you,
love that.
you
No,
watch
do.
back,
I will.
watch the
Yeah,
show back, and just when
yeah.
you there, and well, not that
Oh,
time, but it went right up your left hand side. Um, One thing just before we go into about what you do, Crystal, because I want you to share with the world what you do. I've got a lovely message from, again, sorry to say, Facebook user. I used to live in an old farmhouse during the Civil War. There were soldiers who travelled there um, through Redland. Through the Red Land. I would see a man dressed as a soldier. He never bothered us, just seemed to be guarding the house. He let me know his name was Celeb, and through Caleb, sorry, not Celeb, I'm dumb as post. Caleb, and through thought, through not through actual voice, got that. It never felt any fear, and it was comfortable. No, that's
oh,
perfect.
that's
What a
lovely, isn't
beautiful,
it?
beautiful message. So, spirit there, just like yours, Crystal, sitting in the back of your car, going, pay attention to what you're doing. This person here is letting them know, no, I'm going to look after your house. What a great. Whoever that person shared that message with, I'm so sorry I haven't got your name. I'd love to share it with everybody, but
Oh, I wonder
unfortunately,
if I'll see it on Facebook. I can look on my phone. Is
yeah.
that cheating?
No, you look on your phone, by the way. Mary Erickson's joined us. Mary, good evening, darling. Welcome to see you. So, yes, I'm sounding really bunged up, aren't I, Crystal?
Little
I'm
bit, but you know, you're a
fighting it.
trooper.
I'm
Talking of
fighting it.
troopers.
I'm not going to let it beat me. We're already into the second hour. I can't believe how quickly this rockets past. I really can't. So tell everybody literally
Oh,
about
that's
what.
Mary Caleris Erickson
Oh
about
yes, Mary
the
Erickson.
old farmhouse.
Oh wow, Mary, what a beautiful message. What an amazing thing to go through. That was my message about Caleb. Gotcha. So go on, tell us, darling, what's going on with you, what you're doing.
Well, curiouser and curiouser. You know, Spirit always have a different idea for you. Or
Yes.
you're on that. You think you're doing one thing, and then they throw you a curveball.
Yeah.
So I'm promoting Divine Energy International, which is we're spreading the love and light of the healing world. So
Brilliant.
trying to get that out there. And it was an energy I channeled in 2019 before the lockdown, and
Right.
that's what it started with, divine energy healing. But all the different modalities are coming into it now, and we're sharing it out there. And that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So our membership website's out there now. But
well, tell everybody
Spirit
where it
has
is.
other
How can they
plans.
find it?
Oh, it's www.divineenergyinternational.com.
There you go. Simple as that.
Okay, and I'm on Facebook, Crystal Rose with an H. You know, the
Yeah.
other one's my private page. So
Go ahead.
the
Carry
funny
on.
thing is, I've wanted to do the healing, and that's what I'm trying to get into. Okay, what I've been trying to get into. But since that's happened, I've met a friend of mine, Sylvie Carol Edwards, who's a good medium, and she just bumped into me round the corner as I was leaving the spiritual centre, moving out that day, and she was literally crying in the street. Well, not sobbing, but she had a few tears, and I said, "Well, Spirit want me to do that, but you know, how have I got time for all this?" She said, "They're putting a size 10 boot on my foot and telling me to give you a kick up the backside, because the thing is, a lot of mediums are dropping out at the moment because it's a very tough time for light workers.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So I'm being sort of called to action, and I thought, well, I'll go to Stansted this year. You know, I'll have a little holiday and do my mediumship. So I got on the first course, had en suite. I thought, oh, that's lovely. The second course, the only other one I could go on with the dates were there, was with I'm going to say the wrong medium here. Anyway, with a well-known medium.
Right.
Different ones come into my head now, so you know it's my age. And I thought I'll never get on that one. Rang up, and there's a space.
Well, and
then I booked onto it, and I thought, when the doors open, because
well,
they want
it's like
to do it, don't they?
I couldn't agree with you more. I genuinely do. When we might start second guessing ourselves, which is a regular thing. Everybody does it. Every human does it. And you might think, and especially mediums, and a lot of light workers are falling away
None of us want
because,
to do it.
well, to be honest with
We
you,
kind of do if you don't. It's a
I
brave thing to
found
do.
myself thinking, is it time to retire? I genuinely did. I just thought I've worked so hard for the last 35 years, and shall I? I actually, I think I put a post up on Facebook saying, "Is it time to step back?" Then I
Yes,
got a phone
it's
call.
not.
I got a
You
message
did
from
not long
Amelia.
ago.
Amelia saying, "Hey, listen, Paul. I think you'd be great for this this radio company that I'm working with, and we'd like you to do this show." And then I got a phone call through my wife Johanna saying, "Right, Netflix are ready to talk to you about your TV show." And I'm like,
But
"What?"
Paul, you love it. You come alive. You come alive on these things. I mean, this is way past my bedtime, but I've come alive.
Is she? Well, yes. It's because you're in the company of people all over the world who all think the same. So we're all
Yes,
linking.
isn't it lovely?
Yes.
It gives it just it does. It makes me buzz.
So
I
tell
love
us
it.
all about how that energy is working, though. I mean, I know I know what you do. You send out this amazing energy, and it's been sent to me. You've done it for me, especially when I was going through cancer and when Johanna is dealing with it. And you know what? It has worked because I'm here talking to you. So
Yeah.
tell us how it works. Tell everybody how they can become part of it.
Right. 2 seconds. Do you know what? I'm just literally trying to find out who the right search. 2 seconds. It is.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll give it
Oh,
yet
it
another
doesn't
go.
say. I'm still on the wrong page. Anyway,
It's all right. It's okay.
so I came through channeling that. You know when you
Yep.
wake up, like it's the witching hour, 3 o'clock in
Yeah.
the morning, and I'm wide awake. So I'm giving myself healing, Reiki at the time, or
Okay.
angelic Reiki, whichever one it was, and dropping off back to sleep. But I didn't drop off back to sleep. It was like a dream, but it was a awakened dream.
Yeah.
It was like they were sending me things. And it was kind of like, well, you're not happy with Usui Reiki. It definitely has its place, and I've every respect for Usui Reiki. The thing
Uh-huh.
was, with think symbols like the Honshaze Shonen, the 4 or 5
Yes.
parts of the Japanese symbol, for those who would be dyslexic or have learning disabilities, that would be really difficult. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of layers to
Right.
learning some of these healings, and I wanted something more simple. So I had a sort of collaboration with Spirit. I felt like I was direct line to Jesus,
Right.
which we can all do. And then afterwards, my ego said, "No, that couldn't have been And then I thought, well, who do you think you're saying to if you pray, and
Yeah.
whoever you're thinking of? It's not."
Yeah.
So
Totally.
a friend of mine said it was Lord Lanto afterwards because there's an intermediary.
Right.
Jesus probably went, "Oh, she's going on a bit," and cleared off somewhere else. It's a bit of collaboration, and I was shown all different ways to do it. And no, we'll have this, we'll have that, and of course, I brought crystals into it a bit.
Of course.
But it's all with intention. And I got to about 6 in. I said, "Oh, look, I really need to go to sleep now. Can we resume this when I wake up, please?" So they let me go to sleep. It was my son's
Nice of them.
18th birthday the next day, and I made notes, on my phone,
Yeah.
and made notes to write it down later. Very glamorously, a few months later, or a couple of months later, I went in to have a hysterectomy, and came out. And of course, that knocks you for 6 for a few
Right.
weeks. I had
Yeah.
time to write up all my books.
Right.
Then I was teaching the Metatron method online
Okay.
with the Angel Association.
Yeah.
And from that, I taught my friend Angela Aurora, and I said, "Do you know what? I've got my own modality. I'd really like to try teaching it online and see what you get from it." And then
Uh-huh.
she shared and taught me Violet Flame, and it went from there. She said, "Where do you want to go with this?" And I said, well, I just want healing to be out there. I want everyone to have access to it.
Yeah.
You know, or to feel that they can, which we have naturally anyway, but it clears your channels.
Yes.
Attunements clear the channels. That's the only difference. And she said, well, let's do this then. Anyway, it's been going on since then. About 3 years later, we've had meetings every month and weeks and done all the policy. Oh, it's a big lots behind the scenes. You know, it's just so much goes into it. But we've got a non-profit now running, and it's in the shoot phase. You know, as
Right. Yeah.
I plant the seeds, the shoots are coming up now. It's
Okay,
starting.
good. So it's starting to come together. Well,
Yeah.
make sure that we're part of that, because we will definitely help you to help you push that, because it's something that is going to help everybody around the world. So everybody should be able to
It
help.
has spread around the world already, though. You know,
Yeah.
there's people who have learnt it in America. There's people in Dominican Republic. It's been taught. France.
Yeah. Well, we definitely got to do that. In fact,
Places.
sticking with the angel thing, you're going to love Lynn when she comes on in a minute, because that's one of the things we're going to talk about. I've just
Angel. Just a quick one.
Yeah.
My son saw an angel, angel. Drew me a picture when he was a kid, and they, you know, it was how you see them.
Yep.
I'm pointing, you know, flying with the kilt and everything else, and I thought, oh, that had to be Archangel Michael, and lots of symbols on a sash. He's, you know, but I've seen the presences or felt the presence, like you say, with orbs or blobs of light, different colours. But when I felt them come in before, I've seen sort of like shards of light, almost like lightning in different colours.
Right.
When they've been protective. And a couple of times I've actually felt them moving to protect me.
Yes. Sorry, I was somebody.
You know, so I know they're around. I know they're around, Paul.
So I can concur with one of the things. So Maya, she's not with me tonight. Normally I'd bring her. Actually, she'd probably be in bed at this time of the night. But Maya would refer to them as the sparklies. She would call them the sparklies, and she was telling me about, just like your son saw the depiction of the angel flying, and you're totally believing that's the Archangel Michael.
For me, that's how I thought it was at the time.
Maya saw them.
That's how I'd imagine it. It's quite Celtic, Archangel Michael.
Yeah. See us Celtic everywhere, I'm telling you. Well, Maya saw them in very small. And they were sparkling, and they moved around her TV in a circle like that, and then they came over.
That's elementals. I think that's Fae. I think
she.
That's the realm of the angels as well.
She's a darling. I remember I was lying in bed, right, and I was asleep. But you know, when somebody's come into your room, you're asleep, but some part of your essence goes to somebody in the room. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm lying there, and I just open one eye like this. So I'm lying on my side, one eye open, and I see Maya, and she's so thoughtful as a child. She wants to talk to you, but not disturb you at the same time. So she's like mouthing, Dad, like that, and I'm going, yeah. She goes, Sparkly said I should get him beside you. I just lifted up the quilt. She climbed over and she put her little arm around my chest, and it was amazing. But I want to bring up, just before we bring Lynn on, because we're flying through the show, but I want you to read this with me. I just want to bring that on. Now, my ex-boyfriend passed. I really don't know how, but I dream about him, but can't remember what it's all about. And I wake up crying. What can it be? Well, first of all, let me just address that first two lines. If you're dreaming about your ex-boyfriend and you can't remember, then it's a dream. Okay, it's just a connection to your subconscious, and it's a memory infused dream. It's not a bad thing, because it's sending an energy up there saying that you want to connect with him, which is a nice thing to do. I feel guilty. Don't ever feel guilt. Please, 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 please. In next week's show, I'm going to be talking about how to get rid of guilt and get it out of your life, and how it holds you back, and it's nothing but a negative magnet for negative things. Get rid of guilt, get it out of your system and away from your life. I feel guilty because he proposed to me 14 years ago, and I said no because he hurt me emotionally. We saw each other again as best friends, and he kept staring, and I'm just reading all the little bits through it. And all I could do was look the other way. I feel some kind of guilt because his mother and dad told him to look for me. So the reason I said no is because I felt he got pressured. Well, I can see where you're going with that. If he's in spirit, my darling, he will be trying to make a connection to you. The difference between what we refer to as a visitation and a dream is quite simply this: your brain it'll tap into the conscious and the subconscious, and it'll put things together in little pigeonholes, and it'll create a little movie in your mind. Hence, a dream. The difference between a visitation is it's the same concept, but you'll remember absolutely every single thing about it. You'll not forget a single, even years later, you'll remember everything about it. And that is a direct connection to spirit. And that is way past what any medium can do for you, because it's a direct connection to the person that you want to talk to. So my advice to you, my sweetheart, and I don't know who you are, but you're very, very welcome to be on our show. And thank you for being here tonight, is to say to him, it's okay to come through. But I will say this to you: he does not carry guilt. I guarantee that. He doesn't carry guilt on the other side of life, and he'll only want you to be happy, especially at this time of the year. Okay. So we got Mary Bella, who's part of the show. Katrina is McGuire. Katrina, welcome to the show. Lovely to see you. Now, as I've got the beautiful Crystal Rose, I'm going to keep her locked into my little room here, but I'm also going to bring in another pal of mine who literally looks after me in every sense of the word. She makes sure I'm on time. She makes sure I'm on Facebook and I best turn up, or she gives me grief. She's also a student of mine. He says, sniffling away. I do apologize to everybody, but I've got a horrible blooming cold. And Lynn should be coming on momentarily. And we're going to talk about her connection to. You're going to love this, Crystal. You're going to absolutely love this. I'm not going to burst the bubble of the story, because I'm hoping that Lynn can click on the connection, and she'll appear in a moment, and I'll bring her up alongside of us too, and she'll be able to say, "Hey, hi." That's of course if she clicks on that. Well, while we're waiting for Lynn to come in, please tell everybody again about how they can connect in with you to promote this beautiful universal energy of healing.
It's www.divineenergyinternational.com.
Oh, I see. I left out the international bit. There you go.
So
I'll take that banner off. And
it's a big long divineenergyinternational.com. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
I'll put up. I'm on Facebook, Crystal Rose, with an H.
Divine Energy International.
Yeah.
I can do it really quick now because I'm getting used to this.
You're very good on this, Paul.
I'm not really. Trust me.
No, you are, because you sent me the link and I could come straight on, and you've got it linked into Facebook. It's really good. It's because there's a lot. I mean, you make it look very.
I might look like, hey, look at him, isn't he good? Look at the muscles. No, I'm not. I really am useless at this. And if it wasn't for my dear friend Michelle, I would literally be.
No, you've done really well. But
I'd be talking through a bean tin.
We've done this before, and I used to have. I got rid of it all. These are new, and I used to have a little camera. I thought, I'm not using that anymore. I'll have to get a new one because it's not so good. I think it was you told me. I think they've improved.
Well, cameras have improved through different sort of.
Do I need a little one?
Not really. Not if you're whatever you're using is perfect.
It's all right. Oh, that's good then. Yeah.
And your sound is excellent.
Yeah,
I'm very lucky. So Lynn's not responded yet. Lynn,
okay, so listening? Spirit, Paul.
Yeah.
Getting on to spirit. So we talked a bit about ghosts.
Yeah.
I saw two souls that had passed. Okay.
Oh wow.
And I've only ever seen people as alive as you and I this once, as far as I'm aware.
Right.
This was a few years ago. These two souls had passed in an accident, and I heard it was very well known. Everyone knew. There was no secret about it.
Right.
And I heard their names in my head 3 times, and I
Okay.
thought, "Why am I hearing about that? I haven't thought about these for a good couple of weeks. Why am I thinking about them?" Turned around and saw them as alive as you and I, and it was like one of those scenes where they're going, "Oh, she could see me," like on Ghost, you
Yes.
know, and the jaw drop. And I wanted to say hello, and I thought, "No, I can't say hello." And I thought, "Is this a reenactment for Crime Watch or anything?" I thought, "No, because everyone knows what happened." You know, this is what I'm thinking. I could have gone and sat with them. This was in McDonald's. I saw them turn round with the tray,
Right.
you know, and I said to I just come home from Chelsea Academy with my youngest boy,
Yeah.
and we were in there. He was in his football, so I was getting him his food because boys never stop eating, do they? And I said to him when we got home, "Did you see them?" Because we all knew them or of them. I said,
Yeah.
"Did you see them?" "No." And they said, "Oh yeah, I saw," but he described someone else, so he hadn't
Right.
seen what I'd seen.
Right.
But
Okay.
when my other son knew them, and he happened to be home at the time, when I
Yeah.
described what I'd seen and how they looked, immaculate, beautiful, you know,
Wow.
and I just thought I wish everyone that loved them could see them like that. And I wrote all about it in my spiritual book. It's a good few years back now, but I've had my own proof of spirit. That was my proof
That's
beyond.
mind. But I'd say you're out of the ones you've told me about in the past. I'd say one of the best one is the Mini. That's the one.
Oh yeah, that's brilliant.
That's the best.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to
It's a
say
great
that
show.
coming into the chat room is my dear pal and the beautiful Michelle Desrochers. Yeah, I always think of the
Oh, what a lovely
Rocher.
name.
What a beautiful name. And I am able to look good here because she does all the back work. She says, "Do this, do that, make this happen." And sometimes she goes da 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 da, and I'm going, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've said to her, I can walk in and I can fully utilize and work to the top any digital recording studio, but something is like this, I'm like going, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you know the thing, Paul, while we're trying to link it to Christmas?
Yeah,
You know Christmas is about Christ. So
yeah.
that made
Well,
me think
Christmas was
this
sort
is
of
about
pulled
his
in.
birth, not his death. But I
Yes, that's
just
right.
thought that totally makes it true, or feasible. Because
Yeah.
if I
Well,
could see them as alive as you or I, looking
yeah.
immaculate like a week later,
Then everything else has to be.
then that makes it like it, because in our ego minds, we think they couldn't. You're thinking, "Oh, did he survive on the cross?"
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
Suddenly
like
to be walking around, this is how your ego mind thinks. But
I've
because
watched
I saw
quite a
that,
few.
that kind of put a big tick in the box for the actual reality of it,
Well, in relation to exactly the subject you're talking about, well, Christmas time is it's rebirth, a new beginning. That's what it's all about. But they've connected it to Jesus. Now,
Yeah.
I've watched a couple of movies on miracles where children have fallen, and they're true stories. Where one was a little girl and one was a little boy, and they fell ill with serious illnesses, and as such they almost died. They had a very intensive NDE, near death experience. Lynn's just come in, and we'll bring her in a second. In fact, I'll bring her in now. Add it to the stream. There she is.
Oh, hello, Lynn. Hiya.
Hello.
Looking beautiful, darling.
So
I like your headphones.
She's looking very funky.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like those.
With these two children, neither of the two of them met each other. This is the thing that got my attention. They hadn't met each other, but they both drew. The girl came back from her NDE with a gift of art. She started drawing, but she drew the man who helped her. And in that, Lynn, you need to bring your volume down a bit because I can hear everything that's coming through. Lynn, Oh, Lynn. Oh, she's doing the same thing as Roger. She's
Yeah, she's still
half an
got a
hour
live
behind us.
going in the other. You
Right.
might have a couple of
Okay.
windows open where you've
Yeah.
still got a live going. I did that when I came on. I could hear him twice.
So
So
the
if you've got
anyway, so
two
the little
tabs open.
boy, he came back, and his dad was a pastor, and the weird thing about all of this is the church gave his dad such a hard time for discussing the fact that his son had crossed over to the other side, got involved with this gentleman who told him everything was going to be right and brought him back. And so the little girl had since drawn a picture. Her whole incident had been publicized, and the picture was put up on the media. And the little boy, and again, the little boy was in a different country completely. And he went, "That's the man. That's the man who helped me." And it was the picture that she had drawn with the picture of Jesus.
Ah,
And
wow.
the little boy said, "That's him. That's the man who helped me. That's the
Ah,
man who told me we'll be fine."
I love
It's
that.
an amazing story.
Mm.
Speaking of amazing stories, we got Arlene here. She, I love Lynn. She has no concept of technology. Just bangs everything about. When I
Lynn,
used to
you know
teach
at the very top, you'll have another. If you click, say you were clicking onto a different part of the web that you've got open, I think you've got the live going in a different tab, and you've got this one on as well. That's what happened to me when I came on, because I had, and we can hear it in the background. You
and
see,
it's behind as well. So the best thing to do is actually
Whereabouts at the top?
switch.
Whereabouts at
right.
the top?
So you've got across for whatever tabs you've got open. If you've got one open on Facebook,
I'm having, there's that many voices coming at me.
Turn Facebook off. She's about 30 seconds behind us.
Right, that's off. I have
ah,
done.
brilliant, perfect. Well done, Paul. That was succinct. I was going through which click here and click
I think
there.
that's probably why our Roger was doing it. So when you come onto this show here on this particular format, the best thing to do is just be in the format.
Now
So,
you know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you hear us all, Lynn? Oh no, she's still behind us. So it's whatever.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So what I want to discuss or share with everybody, and I'm very conscious of the time. We're only got about 15 minutes to talk about this. Is before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to you live tonight on the United Public Radio Network, coming to you live on 105.3 and 107.7 FM from the beautiful New Orleans. Thankful for the United Public Radio Network for having Paul Francis and Spirit Quest, The Journey of Life, on here. And right after this, don't forget you have the Outer Realms with the beautiful Michelle and Amelia coming off right after the show. Make sure you're a part of that experience as well. But I have Lynn with us tonight. And
Woohoo.
Hello, holy soldier.
many months ago, Lynn came to me and she said, well, first of all, I became her teacher. I was teaching her. And she said, "Listen, I want to talk to you privately." And I said, "Sure, what can I do for you?" My grandson's very, very ill. Can you help? And I said, "Well, Lynn, I'll do everything I can. I will send my angels to help him." So at the end of our class, I sat down, I put up some candles, I went into a meditative state, and I said to my angels, I said, "Listen, I want you to go and help him out. Um, little Archie, can you please help him out? He's not very well. Please bring him back. Please lift him up so he can be with his family." So I sent Lynn a quick message to say, "Listen, I've sent that energy up there. I'll, just keep me informed." That's the wrong thing I should have said to Lynn, because Lynn keeps you informed 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was going, Lynn, darling, please don't talk to me in the middle, because when you send me a message, the alarm goes off on
Yeah,
my phone.
yeah.
I hear beep beep beep.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? But anyway, so I'm going to let you take over, Lynn. You tell everybody what happened, because it's an amazing story. I'm not looking for any kind of accolade here, not by any joke. In fact, if anything at all, it should be focused on little Archie. So tell everybody what happened.
Well, Archie was diagnosed in May 2019 with leukemia. And
It's important to let everybody know how old Archie was.
Archie, when he was actually diagnosed, was 8 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so a
And
little baby.
he was autistic as well. He was diagnosed in the May and taken into hospital, and he's been in and out of hospital all the time, mainly in hospital more than out. And at this time, when I contacted Paul and he said he'd send his angels, Archie had been taken into ICU because he'd had his first sepsis. He actually had it 5 times while he was there.
So he's not only was he battling with the disease, he's now battling sepsis at the same time.
Sepsis is blood poisoning, isn't it,
Yeah.
Lynn?
Yeah, well, leukemia is a blood, and yes, the sepsis is blood poisoning. And the antibiotics and the painkillers they gave him, each time he had the sepsis, his body swelled up to 4 times the size it should be. And he was one poorly little boy.
He was.
Now,
Heartbreaking.
yeah, we actually got a prayer group together as well, didn't we, Paul?
We did, yeah.
A healing group together, and we had over 4,000 people right round the world sending him healing and sending him prayers. Now, they said they actually phoned us, the ones that couldn't be at the hospital, because of course we were coming up to the COVID side, but they phoned us all and said they didn't think it'd last all night at all. So we went dashing down to the hospital. His mum and dad were there, and we just sat in the corridor all night, and his mum and dad were with him. He'd gone into like a semi-coma, if you will, and the next morning he actually came out of it, smiled, looked at his dad and said, "Angels." Then he fell back to sleep again. Then
Wow.
After a while, he woke up again and he said to his dad, "Daddy, do you believe in angels?" And he went, "Why, son?" He says, "Because I've had some by my bed all night."
Oh.
And I felt so safe with them. They helped me to get better.
Oh.
And he did. He improved right after that.
Yeah.
Now, Lynn and the family all say, "Paul, thank you very much." And I keep saying, no. I'm not. I don't want that accolade. That's not for me. I said to my angels, "Please help him." They did all the work. I just said, "Please help him." So I don't want any accolade for that. But the fact of the matter,
the thing is, though, Paul, we've got armies of angels, haven't we? And they're omnipresent as well. So
yeah,
Archangel Michael can be here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, it's what Paul touched on earlier. They need to be asked.
they have to be
So
asked.
Paul's asked
yeah.
them in. He's invited them in, and they're
Yeah.
there. They want to
Yeah.
help. So there's
And
more
Well, the whole
angels than there are.
concept was, when I was focused on him, I kept seeing him in my mind's eye, getting out and playing, getting up and getting on with things that he had to do. And he kept referring to me as the captain, which
Yes,
was, I
he
was
did.
like, "Oh my God,
Because
bless his little heart."
They're both Star Wars fans, absolutely mad
okay.
keen on it.
So when he found out I was a Star Wars fan, it was like, yes, here we go.
Yep.
We're going to be pals.
Yeah.
So, and he did, he improved a lot. And the
Mhm.
reason why I wanted to bring Lynn on to talk about this tonight, especially this time of the year, was to show our
Well, it's
listeners
a Christmas miracle.
the Christmas
know.
miracle.
Yeah.
But more importantly,
Shows miracles happen, doesn't it?
it's real. It happened. And here's somebody
Yeah.
who actually experienced it. This is somebody,
It's
Crystal,
the
you
power
and
of
I have
healing,
seen-
healing energy.
Can I just
Mediumship,
mention that
prayers.
at this time as well, in his room, his some of the family was sat in his actual room that he's normally in,
Yeah.
because he was in ICU, and they were sat in there waiting for news, and Archie's bed, the corner of the bed, went down into a sag,
Oof.
as if somebody
Somebody
had sat
sat
on
on
the
it.
bed.
And
And then one of the chairs actually moved.
these angels need a diet.
But
Chubby
the whole
angels.
message for tonight to come across to tell all our listeners and all our watchers all over the world to say, listen, guys, please trust us. This is real. This actually
Yeah.
happened. The angel realm are there to help you. And
Yeah.
it's a big thing that I try to promote, especially throughout the United States, where they have a big focus on demons. You might say, well, there's demons here and there's demons there. Also, there are angels here and there are angels there and there are angels
Yeah.
everywhere.
They're
So-
all angels. They're all angels. It just depends what path they're on.
So we need to try and get that point across as much as, all these TV shows who focus on demons. Somebody sent me a message the other day on Facebook saying, "Oh, it's a demon," and I went, "How do you know that?"
I
And they
saw
wouldn't,
that.
wouldn't reply.
Well, we can
So-
all be angel or demon, can't we?
Well, I'm probably both,
You
but there we
know.
go. That's called perfect balance. That's the yin and yang. Guys, we're at 22 the hour, so I want to make sure I will say hello to everybody who's watching us in the chat room tonight. UFO Paranormal Radio, good evening, welcome to the show. Canada's most haunted, and I read that and I was like giggling to
cool.
myself.
So
Canada's most
cool.
haunted, Michelle Russia. It's not that she's the most haunted, she's part of Canada's most haunted. And of course, news on the flip side, it's great to see you guys all in there. And of course, the Iron Realms with Michelle and Amelia will be coming right up right after the show tonight. The following show, and the last show of 2022 is next week, which is on the 29th, which is New Year's Eve. And that show, I will be telling you and teaching you how to get rid of all the negativity you've carried through this year and prep yourself so that 2023 is going to be a phenomenal year. So I'll be teaching you how to do all that next week. And I'm open for all y'all. See, I'm getting all American now. All y'all to be a part of the show. All y'all. So the Crystal Rose, she's getting right into it. She's even got the old star up behind her. And Lynn has been a brilliant student. And you can see just behind Lynn's.
Thank you.
I'm noticing because I remember signing those certificates actually.
Oh, yeah.
That's behind her
Yeah.
head. I can see them there. And she is on her way to. Well, I would quite happily put her out there now, and especially in the spiritual churches. Something I want to say while we're here: a lot of spiritual churches are getting people falling off left and right. Support your local spiritual church, ladies and gentlemen. Go in there.
Yeah, I need to get back into mine.
Well, I came out of them not for the reason that I don't support them, but I came out of them because a lot of them down here were very political, and I believe that politics and spirit just don't link. They're oil and water. So there are two that I support dramatically, and I will continue to support. I've always wanted to create a spiritual cathedral. So I've been waiting to a cathedral to be abandoned, then I'll buy it and I'll turn it into
I see. Yeah.
spiritual church. Do you know what I mean? A big spiritual church and have different mediums from around the world that come in. That's always been my dream. So universe, if you're there with me tonight, I want a big church that I can turn into a center that people can come and we can all be one group of spiritual focused energies, and we'll make it happen. So that's coming up very, very soon. I can't believe how quickly 2 hours is gone. Boom, looks like that. Crystal, what have you got coming up this week?
Coming up this week?
Yeah, what have you got?
I'm off up north with the husband.
Yeah.
We're off up to Sunderland to visit his family.
Why,
and my in-laws. Yeah. Well, they're kind of, they're Mackhams. They're not the YIs. They're slightly different, but never mind. That's, the Geordies and
so
the
people
Mackhams.
who are listening in New Orleans, they will have no idea what that is.
No.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I say Canadians to Americans. They know what that means right now. Yeah. There's so many accents in Britain. It's
I,
like
there are
you know,
two people that I
you
can listen
travel
to.
like 50 miles and someone sounds totally
Mm.
different, don't they?
I tell you what, the Northeast. We'll just call it the Northeast.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
can listen to Geordies and Mackhams. I love because their accent is so honest.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
George
what I.
hasn't got an accent
Yeah.
anymore. My husband hasn't got an accent anymore, but he does have one he puts on a little bit, which is a bit you know.
Well, you just listen to him after he's been up there for a few days.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
of course, the
bit-
other one is the Welsh accent. I think they sing. when
Oh,
talk.
they do. I love
I
the
can just
Welsh
listen to him.
accent. You've got a beautiful accent, though, Paul. You
Um,
have. Yeah. Your
I
voice
know
like melted chocolate, hasn't he, Len?
Melted I'll say that to my wife, who's a Scouser, by the way. I'll go, hey,
Yeah.
listen, I've got
Well,
a
I
voice.
can't say anything because I'm part Welsh and part Scots, so I'm a Celt as well as Paul.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Oh,
If I
well,
say
my
to my
dad's
wife,
my dad's
I've got,
Liverpudlian. I've
oh,
just
there you
sent off
go.
I've just sent off ancestry DNA,
Yeah,
so I'm interested to see how that comes back. But
fantastic.
I might get a few surprises in there.
I can't
But you
imagine
never
what
know.
Johanna will say to me shortly when I say, listen, I got a voice like melted chocolate.
Yeah.
She'll look at me and go,
It's a little bit gravelly tonight.
all right there,
No.
you deluded git.
It's a bit.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a cheaper chocolate tonight. No, it's
Oh, she sounds, my wife sounds like dear old, what's his name, who used to be on Most Haunted.
oh, I love the American
Uh,
accent.
Derek-
Not the American
Derek
accent.
Acora.
I love the Liverpudlian
The
accent.
Scouts are right there, like she
Derek
says to me,
Acora.
your accent. Yeah, I used to be like Derek.
Mm.
And when I sat in Derek's kitchen, it was to do with a completely different kind of spirit. So
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
we were sitting in his kitchen, and I said to him, I was sitting across the table from him, and I said, Derek, I said, you've got to let the world see this Derek.
Mm.
Okay, get rid of the most haunted Derek, and let
Yeah.
the world see this Derek.
Authentic.
Because they
Derek,
will
yeah.
fall in love with you.
Mhm.
Okay, because he was a homely, loving. He looked after his chickens. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's the Derek
Aw.
Acora I knew.
You just, I love it. That's why I love reality TV. You know,
Yeah.
when I love all that. I just love seeing people
So I sat
in
there
their
with him
natural
and his
environment,
wife
a bit
Gwen,
like David Attenborough. You know.
and he was such a down to earth, laughing, constantly laughing,
Mm.
having a drink, just like any other,
Mm.
Celtish kind of a guy. And the more he drank, the more he laughed, the more his Liverpudlian accent came out. To the point that the only people who could understand him were all the Scousers.
I've read his book. I
Yeah.
know a bit about his background because you know, people don't choose to be a medium, and he very much touched on that.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
but he was very drawn to a spiritual church wherever he travelled to, and he tended to he'd tend to find himself parked right outside one and things like that, and he'd have to go in, and he was, you know, always guided because he started off as a semi-pro footballer. He
He
almost
did.
became a
Yes, he did. He told me all
professional
the stories
footballer.
about
Yeah.
going in there to the boss.
Mm.
He and I were talking about doing a tour shortly before he passed, so it
Oh.
obviously wasn't meant to be, but I'm sure he'll tour with us from the on high.
Yeah.
Ladies, it's been an absolute treasure.
He's
to
raising
have
the
you
glass
both.
in spirit now. I can see
Oh,
him.
knowing Derek, he'll be he's a jolly character, and Colin
was
as
lovely.
well.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah, I bet
even
Colin.
share with you the last conversation I had with Colin. Like
Mm.
that's how down to earth that one was. I can't even
Mm.
share it with you. It was about. I said to him, "Hey, Colin," and Colin was very calm. Yes.
Yeah.
And I said,
You know.
hey,
Mm.
you know this award-winning medium thing? He goes, like that, and I'm just going to go and leave it because the rest of it I cannot share because it's full of beep 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 beep
Yeah,
beep beep
I can
beep
say I
beep.
can imagine it because I've met him and I've met Derek 3 times, and he used to live 40 minutes away from where I live now.
Oh, there
But
you
they
go.
got it though. They totally
Mm.
understood it. They both entertained as well.
Yeah,
People don't
yeah.
want to be bored, do they?
No.
You know.
Well, I briefly
And
worked with
you're
Tony.
the same, Paul.
Briefly,
That's where
Tony's
the law of
lovely.
attraction worked for you because you entertain. You naturally
Mm.
engage people. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, that's what my teacher told me. She said to me, "You've got to interlink and work out a way how to interlink your music with your work." And I just could not figure out how to do that. I just said no, because every time at the beginning of my career, it was, "What are you doing tonight? And I'm like, well, what do you mean what I'm doing? Are you doing the medium stuff? Are you singing? Which is it? You know? And so that's why I had to split my name. My name is Paul Francis McGann.
Mm, yeah.
But people
Yeah.
knew me in the music
Ah,
business as Paul McGann.
Mm,
yeah.
And then so I had to go click like that. Paul Francis, spiritual medium, Paul McGann, musician,
mm,
and Paul McGann, musician, and then became actor and all that. And then I
mm,
thought, hang on, this is and I just said, we gotta figure out it's gotta be one or the other. And then everything on the musician and performance side went backwards and the mediumship just came all the way up like that.
Mm.
So I just went, well, okay, I'll do whatever you want to do because do you know what? I'm getting the best of both worlds. I enjoy my music, I enjoy
mm,
performance, I enjoy writing and production, but at the same side, I get everything I want spiritually out of the work I do there.
mm.
So, but my teachers were saying to me, combine them both, and I just could not see how that would work. You know,
I have a suggestion.
yeah, far away,
When you start touring again, as you come
yeah.
on, sing as you come on,
Well, do you
and
know
then
what?
lead them with a number as you go up.
It's kind of like that
Good
was
idea,
one
Len.
plan. However, I came up with a different idea. I did a huge show, a beautiful show in a beautiful theater in St Austell and big theater.
Mm.
And what I did was I put my beautiful daughter on ahead of me and with an acoustic guitar, and she
Mm.
sang
Oh,
and
brilliant.
performed, and the whole theater just went
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
And I
Mm.
was like, oh my God, they're ready for me now.
Raise the energy, yeah.
The
Yeah.
energy was just amazing.
That's right.
Ladies, we're at the end of the night. I have to say good night to you both. Actually, I don't have to say good morning. I've got to say good morning to both of you.
Oh yeah, good morning to us and
And a
good
very good
day.
evening to
Good
everybody in the
day,
United
y'all,
States.
in America.
I've got people saying, yeah, it's Irish. Well, I never knew that. I never knew you were a singer. If you go onto to YouTube and type in Paul
Mm.
McGann,
Yeah.
what's the easiest one to remember? Oh, I can't even think of all the singles I've got out there. Still haven't found. Think of I did a version of U2's Still Haven't Found. I got a message from Bono saying that's the best version I've ever heard. Thank you
Oh,
very
how
much.
lovely.
I'll
Um,
post it up tomorrow on Facebook.
so
Yes,
you can
please
get
do then. Yeah.
there's about I don't know half a dozen videos up there of
Mm.
different tracks that I've done. But anyway, that's by the by.
Mm.
Ladies, thank you for taking the
Thank
time out to be
you.
here
Thank you
tonight. I
for
know it's
having me.
really late.
I
You're
drew
both
a card
superstars.
earlier from the Divine Energy Oracle, which isn't linked with me, by the way, but it's Sonia Coquette. And it was be of service because I was thinking, does he really need me to, to go on tonight? And that's the one card I've drawn today. So,
Be of service,
Re-
and you are.
yeah. So
I
if one
follow
person,
you.
one person listens, or if one
Oh,
person, that's
we
all
got
it takes, Lynn, isn't it?
just to break it to you gently.
Definitely.
You've got thousands listening. Okay,
Mm.
I think the maximum record Michelle was telling me was 5.5 million.
Oh
So
my God.
I fully expect to break that. By the way, so
Good.
Oh, you will. You
Yes,
will.
you will.
ladies, enjoy the next couple of days. I'm at your disposal anytime you ever want to. I would love to have you both back on again, and let's make this all happen.
Is it Archie,
I've
Lynn?
enjoyed
Your
it.
grandson?
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
passed away in February this year.
He
we
passed.
yeah
passed
we
away on
we managed to keep him
February.
right through Christmas, and then
God bless
sadly,
him. We send our
Mm.
family.
but
and all
wasn't his
the
funeral amazing?
energy.
Sorry, look.
Archie's funeral was amazing. A lot
Oh,
of the characters of Star
absolutely
Wars turned up.
fantastic. Yep. I'll
Ah.
post one of those up as well. I was going to do it for
Do
Christmas. so
you
I
know?
will.
Do you know what though? We sign up for a certain amount of time, don't we?
You do.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe
We do.
that. And
Ladies,
we've learned.
I'm gonna
something.
kill this
I've
because we're
learned
about to
things
go.
Anyway, God bless.
Listen, we'll
Thank
bring you guys
Well,
back.
Thank you ever
Thanks
so
for
much
being
for
on
having
tonight.
me, and thank you, Lynn.
Brilliant. Thank
Take
you,
care.
and Merry Christmas to
Merry
you
Christmas
and
to you
to
both.
everybody that's
Happy winter
listening.
solstice and
Thank you very much. Thanks, you guys. Good night. God bless. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. We have literally come to the end of the show. For this is the last show before Christmas. Thank you to my guests for being on tonight. They've been absolutely amazing, and two amazing people, and both with fantastic stories that helped us produce a magnificent show. We have Crystal Rose, and make sure you watch out for her and follow her on Facebook. She's a absolute. I was drawn to her from day one because everything she does is from the heart and from the soul and from the spirit and for the benefit of mankind. She's a genuinely beautiful person. Please follow her. And of course, my dear friend Lynn, who literally keeps me on my toes and I expect will be part of my team for many moons to come. I'm going to say to you guys, good night. God bless. Thank you so very much for making this show what it is. It's getting better and better and bigger as the weeks go through. And only because you guys are here to help me. Please continue to do that. Please make sure that you share the show with all of your Facebook friends, all of your Twitter friends, and of course you can join me on TikTok on one of the best handles ever at Paul Francis 007, and of course you can join me anywhere, but especially next week here. Coming after the show tonight, you have The Outer Realm with Michelle and Amelia. Make sure you're part of that. Tonight, you're listening to us on United Public Radio Network 105.3 and 107.7 FM, directly from the beautiful New Orleans. It's only for me to say good night, God bless. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you next week.